Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold. I don't know what to say, guys. It's just as boring as yesterday. Well, I mean, there's a couple flares of drama. We got some gambling rings being taken down. You know, who needs justice on the people that stole the election from the American people and put Trump through hell when there's illegal gambling going on by super rich people in the world? But we'll talk about it. It's kind of interesting. A couple other random news stories, but all in all, another dull day of headlines. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the dull headlines are exciting. I'm not that kind of guy. But we'll talk about whatever comes up anyway. Today, though, we are doing an exclusive live stream for ticket holders to GART. So that will probably be more fun and exciting for all of us. You can only get access to this if you have your ticket. Tickets are going live right as this show is ending. Well, maybe a little after, because this show is probably not going to go a full hour, if I'm being totally honest. But around 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll be sending out links to this show. I don't know who's going to be in the live stream with me. It'll be me for a little bit, for sure. Burning Bright. Beyond that, it's a crapshoot. We'll see. But it's going to be a good time anyway. Get your virtual tickets. Get your in-person tickets. badlandsmedia.tv/events. You don't want to miss out. And then we got a couple sponsors we should probably talk about as well. First up, we got some Rattlesnake Meats. You've been sold a lie that food should be cheap, that grocery store chicken and beef are fine, but they're not. At Rattlesnake, they raise protein the right way. Pasture-raised, 21-day aged beef, and premium pasture-raised chicken with no subsidies, no shortcuts. It's not cheap to produce. It shouldn't be cheap to eat. Bite back. Think differently about your protein. Visit rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands, promo code Badlands, and get an order sent Monday or Tuesday. Ships to all lower 48 states. Shipping is included. Guys, yesterday we had that story about the farmers that Trump was talking about. I think he was basically saying, hey, American farmers, meat prices are high. I'm going to do my best to help you guys out. But it's also up to the American people to get their meat from American farmers. It's up to us. rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands, promo code Badlands. Check it out. We also got Tamarack Gardens. These guys are fantastic. Introducing Tamarack Gardens, handcrafted herbal remedies and teas made with weeds, wildflowers, and wild harvested herbs in the Pacific Northwest. The products will heal your skin, boost your collagen, lighten your dark spots, and slow your aging. Plus, it is a safe for babies, grandmas, and everyone in between. From salves for headaches, bug bites, and arthritis to supplements for liver and kidney health, they harness God's bounty for your health and to keep you out of the doctor's office. Family owned in North Idaho, Tamarack Gardens dermatologist recommended products support your body inside and out because your health deserves better. Visit tamarackgarden.com today, and with promo code Badlands, you will get $10 off your order. That's tamarackgarden.com, promo code Badlands. Yeah, for those who missed last night on the Power Hour, we had a pretty good show. It was a pretty good time. Me, Chris, and Burning Bright played some throwback intro video and clips and whatnot. Farmers don't raise meat, ranchers do. Whatever. My grandpa was a farmer and he raised meat. Truth Lab, rattlesnake meat is quite tasty. I should get some more. Yes, you should. Come on, 411 says, I buy a whole American cow every 18 months. I used to do that. I've done like a quarter of a cow. That lasted quite a while. Comes with a lot of stuff. What do we got here? Dick John, how about the fraud allegations against Newsom and California for ambulance contracts and federal kickbacks? You know what? Let me pull up that story. We can maybe talk about it. We'll see. I mean, oh my gosh, you're telling me a Democrat politician and a Democrat state committed some sort of fraud with federal taxpayer dollars? Shocking. Jess Coke says, John, last night you mentioned things kids say. When my daughter was in kindergarten, I was a cop. She was asked what she did over the weekend. She said, I'm not allowed to talk about what happens at home. That's great. Clearcat, looks like no sit rep tonight. There will be sit rep tonight. We just don't schedule it until after this show because we do it through Rumble Studio. So hold for processing on that. Okay, let me see if I can find a news story here. Looks like 5 California ambulance companies settle fraud allegations for $11.5 million. That's it. I mean, I guess it's a lot, but U.S. District Court of Southern District of California unsealed a lawsuit filed by a... Oh, wait, that's from 2015. I want 2015. I want something... Let's see this one.
A massive investigation has uncovered that California may have committed major fraud against the US government by exploiting this complicated loophole that's allowed them to steal billions in federal taxpayer funds. One of the largest and most convoluted schemes in modern history has been discovered during a review of California's medical financial records. Investigators found that under Gavin Newsom's leadership, the Golden State has essentially been funneling taxpayer money from all across America to prop up California's own finances. The ingenious plan started in 2022 and it revolves around the complex concept of intergovernmental transfers, which in simple terms is when a local hospital or county makes a transfer to the state Medicaid agency for payments of medical services such as ambulance rides. After the transfers are made, the state can then request a matching amount of money from the federal government, but Newsom's California abused this system by raising the price of a simple ambulance ride by nearly 300%, and then once the local hospitals made the transfer to the states and the state received the matching funds from the federal government, they then instead paid a private ambulance service which cost only a fraction of the original price, pocketing the difference. But the thing is, this is all legal and the government must find a way to close this loophole.
So technically it's all legal. That's a little concerning to say the least. But it's an interesting story. I'm glad they kind of like got caught, but this is not surprising. You think they just do this with ambulance stuff? I would wager that most federal dollars that go to states for programs similar to this, or even like just programs generally, have some form of system in place where they are able to profit and pocket the difference and use for other things, whether that's personal corruption or other programs or something. Like, this is just tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. But yeah, cool story though. I mean, not complaining, not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but not surprising. Above the law, prove me wrong, says Cian Stewart. Balance me. Oh my God, his speaking style reminds me on Chills the YouTuber. No idea who that is. They need to sue the politician personally, or they'll just use state taxpayers to pay fines. Yep. Did you talk about the NBA gambling scandal? I'm getting there. I will talk about that today. And let's do that. Let's get through some news here. We have no update on the Doge website. Myself bigger there. No update on the presidential website. Like I said, boring day. But a couple of interesting things. So yesterday, Russia, we talked about this a little bit on the Power Hour, just kind of briefly mentioned it, but Russia moves to legalize cryptocurrency for international trade. Very interesting. Badlandsmedia.tv/river. Russia will now allow cryptocurrency to be used in foreign trade settlements, creating a legal pathway for cross-border payments that bypass traditional banking restrictions. The Ministry of Finance and Central Bank formalized the move, building on an experimental legal regime launched in September that permitted pilot transactions using crypto for international deals. The new framework is designed solely for foreign trade, with domestic payments still banned to protect the ruble and maintain financial stability. All transactions must pass through a regulated infrastructure supervised by the central bank, and companies will be subject to strict anti-money laundering and know your customer rules enforced by the Federal Financing Monitoring Service. So this is a way for them to avoid sanctions, even though they've already pretty much sanction-proofed themselves. And I think it's notable. This will be good for the crypto industry. And then kind of along these lines is this story. Trump grants a pardon to Binance founder Changpeng Zhao. Love Chinese names. I love saying Chinese names. They're fun to say. President Trump has pardoned Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, who previously served prison time and faced federal oversight for the company's anti-money laundering violations. The White House confirmed Wednesday that Trump exercised his constitutional authority to pardon Zhao, whom Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said had been targeted by the prior administration. The Biden administration's war on crypto is over, she added. Zhao, who served 4 months in prison for violating U.S. anti-money laundering laws, left prison in September of 2024. The Justice Department had previously fined Binance $4.3 billion and imposed strict oversight, calling the exchange a hub for laundering illicit funds. The pardon will likely curtail the DOJ's 3-year monitorship overseeing Binance's compliance, though a separate Treasury Department review remains in place. Since Trump's return to office, Binance has become a key partner in the Trump family's World Liberty financial venture, supporting its dollar-pegged cryptocurrency, USD1, and helping secure a $2 billion outside investment earlier this year. So, I mean, it's good for crypto. I don't love the fact that it's like connected to Trump's family crypto stuff. I think the less optically bad situations you can be in when it comes to stuff like this as an elected official, the better. And the Trump family is not shying away. And now I know Trump is not directly involved in most of this. It's like Don Jr. and Eric, but still kind of icky. Did you know Candace Owens is claiming Trump had Charlie Kirk offed? I did not know that. And I, for some reason, do not believe her. I don't know what that reason is, but for some reason. Spetzel, I miss Dong Jing-wei. You know what? I do too. We haven't heard a word about him in a while. Dong Jing-wei. Let's see if there's anything out there. Still says he's just an official with the Chinese government. And there's still just rumors out there about his defection. In June 2021, reports circulated internationally claiming that Dong had defected to the United States with his daughter. However, these claims were debunked shortly after when Chinese state media published reports showing Dong attending an official MSS seminar urging greater vigilance against foreign infiltration. No definitive audiovisual proof was released, leading to lingering speculation, but U.S. officials formally denied any defection. Those U.S. officials are the Biden administration. I always think back to that Sino-American summit where the Biden administration and Antony Blinken were like, yo, we don't have your dong. China's like, yes, you do. Give us the dong, bro. This is great back and forth. And that was me paraphrasing, in case you were wondering. Okay, there's that. We have this from the Trump administration. They deploy federal agents to San Francisco Coast Guard base ahead of possible National Guard expansion. And I hope they do expand. I hope they continue to expand. 100 federal agents isn't that much. Trump administration has deployed more than 100 federal agents, including personnel from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, to a U.S. Coast Guard base in the East Bay area of San Francisco, marking the start of a long-anticipated immigration crackdown in the region. Federal officials and the Coast Guard confirmed that agents began arriving Thursday at the service's Alameda base, which will serve as a place of operations for CBP. The Coast Guard, part of the Department of Homeland Security, said the move reflects its ongoing role in securing U.S. borders and coastal approaches. Why did I think that the Coast Guard was part of the Navy and not Homeland Security? Am I just stupid? And if the answer to that is yes, that's fair. Buck Wayne, Dong, that name must have been fun in high school, poor thing. I mean, probably not, though. He's from China. Like, he probably didn't even have the weirdest name in his school or in his class. And I wonder if, like, over there they refer to Like, is dong a nickname for like penis over in China as it is here? I wonder if that's universal. For some reason, I feel like it's not. Otherwise, parents wouldn't be naming their kid that. Like, could you imagine somebody here naming their kid penis? I can't imagine that. I mean, I certainly would never do it. So it must not be the same over there. E.H. Cal, if Owens is really saying that, then she lost her ever-loving mind. I wonder what that lawsuit is on her with Macron's wife or husband or whatever that is. Marines and Navy are together, I think. Coast Guard came before Navy, oppressed local citizens, overcame British gunboat to patrol. Ah, there you go. The Chinese would name their penises Johnsons in China. But no, because that's another one here. A boy named Sue. How do you do? During wartime, the Coast Guard is part of the Navy. It always was when I was part of the transportation department, unless this war now with DHS taking it over. That's news to me. How about the name Dick? Again, that's an American one. Like, how many Chinese people are named Dick? You know what I mean? Like Dick Jingwei. That'd be different. They name their kids Dick. I really don't think that's true. I feel like there's a lot of American usernames here that are trying to China-splain to me. I'm not buying it. We still name our kids Peter. It's true. Man, it's kind of crazy how many nicknames there are for the phallic region. And I'm really kind of disappointed in myself for having already spent so much time talking about this. Claire Cat, I thought Coasties were a separate branch. I don't know. Wedding Tackle, Sumteen Wong. Yeah, that's fine. Love those nicknames. Anyway, you guys are great. Thanks for throwing me completely off my game. Speaking of Japan or Asians, whatever, we talked about this a little bit last night too, but Japan elects first female prime minister, pledges stronger defense ahead of Trump visit. Japan's parliament on Tuesday elected ultra-conservative Sanae Takachi, and so we decided we're going to call her the Tamagotchi Trump. Anyway, as the country's first female prime minister, who emphasized bolstering Japan's defense capabilities as she prepares to host President Trump next week. Takachi replaces Shigeru Ishiba following a string of setbacks for the long-ruling Liberal Democratic Party, which lost its majority in the lower house last year and suffered heavy losses in July's upper house elections. Her election comes after the LDP formed a fragile coalition with a new partner expected to pull the governing bloc further right. Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi, man, these names, I can't, said Japan intends to strengthen its defense posture in response to evolving regional threats. We are firmly preparing for President Trump's visit, Motegi said, noting that talks during Trump's October 27th to 29th Tokyo visit, I mean, I don't really care about the visit stuff or how they're preparing. My favorite part of this, and this is what Bernie Wright pointed out last night, says, while making history as Japan's first female leader, Tamagotchi has not championed gender equality. She supports male-only succession for the imperial family, opposes allowing separate surnames for married couples, and does not support same-sex marriages. In other words, she's based as hell. Kurt23 says, I think she's a rock drummer, literally a friggin' rock star. Yeah. TRP6978, my dad was Richard. Her used the nickname Dick, or he probably used it. I don't believe her, says Q Swords, but I watched her say he was betrayed by everyone, including Trump, after Kirk gave him his all. But did she directly say that Trump offed him? That's the part I'm... Did she say that, or did she just say that Trump, like, let him down? There's a difference there. Do you think Trump is trying to oust Massie as part of an act? I personally think Trump does not like Massie. mean, it could be an act, for all we know, but there's no such thing as a principled conservative. We've had this discussion, guys. I've given my lecture on this topic. Thomas Massie is a hypocrite. Thomas Massie did not care at all about Epstein list disclosure or Epstein list victims. He actually made fun of it the one time during the Biden administration, and he never mentioned it prior to that. The one time he mentioned it during the Biden administration, somebody like some anon was like, "How come you're never, demanding the Epstein list?" And he mockingly wrote, "I demand the Epstein list," and like something like they're happy. Didn't actually care. But then as soon as it became a way to politically score against Trump, he all of a sudden is super interested and super into getting Epstein disclosure. It's like a political thing for him. He's a fraud. He's a hypocrite. Just like every other politician, in my opinion. Don't sue me. In my opinion. Fraud, hypocrite. I hope that answers your question. New case, I get called rich a lot by friends. Is it because of your wealth status or because your name is Richard? Massie is against is ain't real. I'm down with that. Yeah, but is he doing it because it's the right thing to do, or the political, is he doing it for political points, or is he doing it because he actually believes in it? That's what I've discovered about Massie. Like, he will capitalize on, and this is not just him, this is most politicians. Sometimes they'll do what their handlers say, the people giving them money, but sometimes they'll just do what gets them the most attention from the base. Like Anna Polina Luna, that's her. Grifter. Same thing with Massie. ClearCat367, John, that's according to the AI machine. What's according to the AI machine? Candace Owens' latest script is that Trump had Charlie Kirk murdered. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. Lots of riches and richies when I was young. You know what? EC was here. I was just the other day thinking about your Stalin bread and how good that was. I don't know why I was thinking about it, but my mom made pumpkin bars. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, my mom came by, dropped off pumpkin bars, and I was taking my daughter to her dance while eating a bite of the pumpkin bar. And I was like, man, I haven't had that Stalin bread in a while. I just made one for the meetup Saturday. Awesome, dude. John, see earlier post about the U.S. Coast Guard. Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Anyway, let's keep rolling here. The Trump administration. So yesterday they had that farmer thing, and then Trump today is set to release, or maybe this was yesterday. Yeah, last night is set to release $3 billion in aid to farmers amid the shutdown. Wonder where this farm is, or where this picture's from. Trump administration plans to release more than $3 billion in aid to U.S. farmers after funds were frozen during the government shutdown. President Trump directed the Agriculture Department to distribute the money through the Commodity Credit Corporation, a Depression-era fund established to stabilize farm income and authorized to borrow billions from the Treasury. Are there any other positions or jobs or careers or places where people make livelihoods where when things are down, you just get like, yeah, here's some money just because we need you? Like, could you imagine if the podcast industry had a Depression era credit corporation where when things are doing bad, when things are down, the government can just be like, here, guys, here's a lifeline. Does that come in handy? But nope, it's farmers. And I'm not trying to dunk on farmers in any way. I come from a family of farmers. My grandpa owned a farm, pretty big one. Horses, had some cattle, corn, wheat, all sorts of stuff out in the western part of North Dakota. My dad used to go there all the time, grew up on the farm. My dad, I think if he could have gotten the opportunity to take over that farm, he would have done it. So family of farmers. I'm just commenting on this specific news story. Due to furloughs and shuttered USDA offices, farmers have been unable to access safety net programs as they harvest one of the largest corn and soybean crops on record. The USDA will resume Farm Service Agency operations on Thursday, reopening offices that have been closed for 3 weeks because of the shutdown, which, by the way, I forgot to highlight that. Shutdown. Almost 23 days. No end in sight. President Trump will not let the radical left Democrats shut down impact critical USDA services while harvest is underway across this country. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins wrote on X. Officials said the administration is also weighing a separate $10 billion relief package, though that plan remains on hold during the shutdown. For now, reopened county offices will operate with limited staff, funded by carryover balances and administrative reserves. Trump also plans to press Chinese leader Xi Jinping to increase U.S. soybean purchases when the two meet next week on the sidelines of a summit in South Korea. Really, I mean, the summit, nobody gives a shit about. Everybody's just talking about this meeting between Trump and Xi. So really, I would say the summit is on the sidelines of the Trump-Xi meeting, not the other way around. Kurt K23 says, I keep forgetting the government is shut down. Escape the Matrix 91. What is going on here? You're not a pumpkin fan. What? You gotta have pumpkin pie or pumpkin cake. So pumpkin bars, so good. Spetzel, the best thing that could happen for ranchers, farmers, and nearly everyone would be SCOTUS overturning the interpretation of the Commerce Clause, the Fed's entry into everything. I love that point. It's a great point. Lumpy Gingy, aren't most crops harvested already? I don't know. Mom Beast says, hi, John. Hello, Mom Beast. Tracy Patriot. Got a good chat today, guys. You know what? I just realized, and I forgot to even share my stream. I forgot to share that I was going live. This guy, Paul Ingracia, he withdrew his nomination to lead the office of special counsel after a bunch of his texts got released that showed that he's kind of a little closet racist. But who isn't? I think it's kind of a bitch move. Personally, the reason I didn't like this guy is because of his connection to the Tate brothers. And if you've followed me at all for like the last couple of years, every now and then I'll bring up that old Andrew Tate video where he's like, would you rather have sex with the Hulk that's a girl or Megan Fox that's a tranny? And he's like, have sex with the biological dude just because it looks like Megan Fox. And it's the weirdest clip. And I never understood why this guy is some cultural icon for younger males. Doesn't make any sense. But he's gotten in trouble. There's been some accusations and some legal filings in Romania, I think, for him and like sex trafficking and all these other things. This Paul Ingracia guy connected to the Trump admin is connected to that case. And there's rumors about this guy being part of the reason the Trump administration like got his passport unrevoked so he could like come back to the United States. And like, just, I was like, who is this guy? What is he doing? And I thought that could be potentially damaging for people on the fringes of the Trump administration associating and seemingly assisting with the Tate brothers and that situation. And now I know innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. But based on what I've seen, there are like some credible allegations here. Pretty and there's a video of this guy's violence towards women. And so I just didn't think it was a great look. And I didn't like this guy because of it. And now he's withdrawn his nomination. He's not going to be, I wonder if he's going to go somewhere else in the Trump administration. I don't know. But Miss Riza Tire had a perfect comment. If you're white and don't like pumpkin spice, your white card has been revoked. I think we can get on board with that. Badlands Mini fan. I grew pumpkins this year. I could use your mom's recipe for pumpkin bars cake. She needs her own show. Man, there is a lot of people that are trying to get my mom a cooking show, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if my mom's ready for this world. I don't even know if I'm ready for this world, let alone my mom. New case. Maybe he is providing some whistleblower stuff on the human trafficking sex industry. Maybe. Do we like? Are you talking about Tate? New case? Are you talking about the Tate brothers? And if so, what if he's guilty of it? What if he's guilty of it? Do we care as long as he's blowing the whistle on others? This is a discussion we've had so many times about accountability and justice. Like, where do we draw that line of, we'll let people get away with some of these crimes, people who've partaken in it, as long as they blow the whistle on other people. If you do that long enough, you're going to have no justice on anybody. We're going to end up getting like The Accountant. You're going to get the Kevin Kleinsmith indictments, where the one guy who changed an email is the only one that sees any form of justice, and the rest of them get off scotch-free until they get taken down for lying to Congress. Red Pill 78 wife. Oh my gosh. This is like treasonous comments here. Absolutely hate pumpkin flavored anything except pumpkin rolls. I said what I said. Very confident. E.H. Kyle, John, what do you think of Josh's theory that Xi has been sidelined? It's been reported that last week all of Xi loyalist military heads have been replaced. That's interesting. I haven't seen that theory though, so I'm gonna have to take a listen. Could be a GART topic. Something we could talk about a GART. I'm down to have that discussion. I know Burning Bright would be too. Would love if John's mom had a cooking show. She could have special guests too, like CanCon and I don't know who else. Yeah, she already has the name and everything picked out. Probably has the logo ready too. Bitchin' in the kitchen, she wants to call it. Trademark, patent pending. Okay, so is this Candace? Let's watch the Candace Owens clip since everybody's talking about it. How do I unmute this shit? Oh.
Process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means, and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. And he serves us or doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me know. They're going to get Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. Really process.
What is she? What is going on? I don't like that. That is not an admission of guilt in any way. Giving somebody a holiday, a day of remembrance, does not mean that you killed that person. That is not. I do not think that would hold up in the court of law or the court of public opinion. And yes, I'm sorry if the audio sucks. I did not control that. But I don't know. I'm not buying it. I mean, I don't think the Trump administration is behind it. I mean, it's possible somebody there was. Anything's possible. We don't know. The public narrative, which, by the way, there hasn't been much movement on that in a while, has there? We haven't gotten much of an update on that entire situation in a while. But I guess I don't really follow the Candace Owens of the world. I don't know what's been going on. Candace upset regarding control of Turning Point. Yeah, I would be too. New case, I don't disbelieve everything she says because the most effective propaganda is mixed with truth. It's really frustrating to have to sort it all out all the time, though. Totally agree. There's been speculation about Israel's involvement since the beginning. I don't discount that either. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it though. Let's see what else we got. Let's talk about this story. This is a fun one. There's a couple things we'll read through here. Yeah. So there are two. No, let's start at the top. FBI Director Kash Patel and other officials on Thursday detailed a massive mafia-linked gambling and sports rigging probe that led to the arrests of Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups. The probe involved two major operations, one centered on illegal betting on various NBA games and another revolving around underground poker games, where high-tech cheating technology was used to steal millions from victims. Among the defendants in the dual operations are members of 4 major American crime families, as well as current and former NBA players and coaches. And then we have some details here. The FBI says there's 2 major operations at the center of its probe. 31 defendants are alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. At underground card games involving well-known public figures, high-tech cheating technology was used to steal millions from the victims. And here they have like an overhead camera, and then underneath the table they have like this X-ray machine that was like taking pictures of the cards. This included custom shuffling machines that could read the order of cards, barcoded decks, and hidden cameras built into tables and light fixtures. Games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families, according to the U.S. Attorney. Organizers enlisted figures, including Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, who's arrested this morning, to sit at the table and help make the games appear legitimate, according to victims and according to law enforcement. Illegal betting on NBA games. The U.S. Attorney also said that they would give insider information to place bets on NBA games. They said perpetrators used non-public information about NBA players and teams to profit on gambling. The information used included details about whether specific players would be sitting out future games or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA coaches and players, and in at least one instance, threatened a current player into handing over information over his pre-existing gambling debts. The defendants used the non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in bets at online sportsbooks and at casinos. It's crazy. The full indictment's out here. I haven't read it yet, but I will. But yeah, I mean, this is whatever. Like, people are losing a bunch of money. They're losing it because of cheating. And yeah, these people should be arrested, but I just think it's like, okay, I'm still waiting for people who rigged the election, put us through COVID, tried to impeach Trump. Basically, the reason that the government is all stealing from us with tax dollars. Like, I'm waiting for those people to get in trouble. And we're sitting here. That's what the FBI has been working on. Gizmo's mom, she didn't say Trump did it. She insinuated that Trump knows who did. That might be true. That doesn't mean that Trump isn't going to eventually let us know, right? Make sports real again. NBA part gets the headlines, but I think this is about the mob. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Spetzel. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat here. CCal AR says things will get ugly very soon. Imagine the blackmail involved. This probably is a lot. Head of the FBI announced this. All corrupt athletes, especially those that criticize Donald J. Trump or America, have tight sphincters today. NBA players seem to be extra retarded. They blow through all the money they make while playing, and many have filed for bankruptcy. That is true. I think it's just professional athletes in general. I don't know if that's exclusive to NBA players. Let's see what else I got. Mortgage rates are coming down, so home sales are up, but the prices are still high. Hoping that comes down soon. Trying to see if there's really not much else. That might be the last story I have for you guys, unfortunately. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, unless you guys in the chat have anything in particular that you want me to discuss, I'm probably just going to go get ready for the exclusive live stream that we're going to be doing for ticket holders to GART, which, again, if you haven't yet, get your GART tickets, badlandsmedia.tv/events. So I'm going to be there. Tickets should be going out here in like 20 minutes, by the way. So that's all I got, guys. Hopefully tomorrow, some exciting stuff happens. So I have more to talk about tomorrow, but we'll see. We shall see. But I don't think, is there any other shows going on right now? I don't think so. Yeah, so we're just going to wrap her up. You guys take a listen to this soft disclosure ad, and then I'm going to play the outro. I hope you guys have a great... Oh, the link already went out. Just FYI. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in this exclusive live stream. Otherwise, I will be back again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on Badlands Media and the Daily Herald. Catch y'all later.
Before skincare went synthetic, people used something simple, something real, tallow. Grass-fed and finished beef tallow is packed with vitamins A, D, E, and K. Nutrients your skin actually knows what to do with. It locks in moisture, restores elasticity, and defends against winter dryness. No water, no preservatives, and no BS. Unlike plant oils or chemical creams, tallow mimics your skin's own structure. Elbows, hands, knees, post-shave, anywhere your skin's crying for real moisture. Perfect for gifting or keeping your own skin soft when the cold hits. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Badlands for 15% off. Ancient Care, modern truth.
Soft disclosure.
Zero. Extra, read all about it. 2, 3. Let's get started. That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.